guys, like, where's the scale? Like, where's the other channels? So I was like, is the UA team writing case studies instead of running the UA for your most promising hybrid casual game? I couldn't just believe this. So I looked into a different view of our favorite data tool, and voila, we have Mintegral, Uplove in Facebook, Digital Turbine, Tabjoy, and InMobi alongside the Unity.
This is no bullshit gaming podcast, 2.5 gamers, sharing actionable insights, dropping knowledge from our day-to-day user acquisition, game design, and ad monetization jobs. We are definitely not discussing the latest industry news, but having so much fun. Let's not forget this is a 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so let's not take it too seriously.
Welcome.
Welcome. Okay. Nice. Welcome, everybody. This is session number 76. I actually didn't say anything wrong this time because I was listening to the last podcast and I said 72 instead of 75. Nobody noticed, which is fine. Or, well, you don't pay attention, which is not fine. Anyway, my name is Matej Lančarič.
I'm Felix Braberg.
And I'm Jakub Remia.
And we are your hosts. Nice. That was pretty good. Love it. So today we talk about another from hypercasual to hybrid casual story. And today is all about Homa Games. So we kind of approach it from a slightly different perspective again, but we are talking about two games, which is Attack Hall and Fight for America. Fight for America, there's a case study from Homa Games. Thank you very much, guys, for making our lives a little bit easier. But we like to do our homework too, so don't get too excited. And then there is Attack Hall, where is a video about the huge success of the game. So I will link this in the show notes. But let's start with something else. Hypercasual isn't dead. Well, surprise, surprise. Thank you, Neil, again from mobilegamer.biz for covering this. He was talking with Homa Games co-founder Olivier.
Là-bas.
I'm gonna tell you a few things that what they discussed. So Oliver mentioned that the hypercasual death have been greatly exaggerated. Exaggerated. In fact, Homa never been in a better shape. So Homa says that their results in the first 6 months of this year, the results were great. While some players have completely dropped the hypercasual space, it has brought some amazing opportunities for a player like them. So they saw even bigger opportunities, and the results were great. They have never had so many games in the top 100 in the US. Interesting. He also says that Attack Hall revenue split between ads and IIPs is around 70 to 30. Not bad. And he also mentioned that the Fight for America is showing very strong long-term metrics, which we will cover, and it's not fucking strong at all. But okay. But these, different perspectives. So he also says...
First of all, Matej, rude.
I know, sorry, but second of all, true. So
no bullshit all the way.
No bullshit. Yeah, that's you heard Samuel L. AI Jackson.
we got t-shirts printed up.
Maybe we'll see. But okay, never mind. Anyway, Homa Games also released the games they released. With the expectation they would get under 10% day 7 retention pre-ATT, and they were not looking at day 30 retention at all. Interesting approach. And they're trying to reach day 7 15% now, and make sure that they are building experiences for players that remain in the game after day 30. So let's see how the Fight for America and Attack Hall compares against each other on the retention in US. So Fight for America, 47% day 1 retention. Not bad. Day 7, 10%. Day 30, 1%. So then we have Attack Hall, which is day 1, 35%, day 7, 7%, and day 30, 1% again. both games day 61%, and then day 90 was around like 0.5%. So well, you're not quite there yet, right? So, but this is not only game. Thanks God, this is not only game from the hybrid casual space that we've discussed. So, how is Dreamdale or Mob Control looking against Fight for America? So again, Fight for America 48% day 1, day 10, day 7 10%. Dreamdale 52% day 1, 16% day 7, and day 30 is 3%. Then Mob Control 43% day 1, 15% day 7, and 4% day 30. Well, not bad. I mean, I would say way better than Fight for America. But the Homa Game is launching a new hybrid casual game Merge Army next month. So let's see. We might cover that game at some point in the future. And
just quick note.
Something. Yeah.
I of course I look into the game even before.
Yeah, this looks
so
way better.
It's pretty much something in a question in similar to like Art of War Legions or
this is like a state.io kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much like auto battler where you have those skills that you can throw up from time to time, and then you merge your army in before and set up the positioning of those, and then pretty much core gameplay happens like the auto battle. So looks kind of promising, to be honest. Like definitely the most hybrid stuff I've seen from Homa yet. We'll get to that. But yeah, I guess we'll definitely follow that regarding the launch numbers or whatever, pretty much whenever this kind of launches from, because it's still in soft launch. There's not really that big of a scale.
Yeah, I think they're gonna launch it very soon, because this is I think an article from last month already. Let's see, it's article from I think August 8th, so not last month, this month. So I guess like in like mid-September they're gonna launch this game. Looking forward to see it. So nice. Gacha
pool.
Yeah. So that's that. That's an intro. So the hyper casual is not dead for them. There is no plan to abandon hyper casual. So they're still launching some games. So Fight for America, this concept can be tracked back to Homa Labs, where a developer called Hitika tested more than 50 games, and they found this concept in one of the brainstorming sessions. So apparently, this was inspired by the market's demand for engaging masculine-oriented games. It's very interesting how they came up with this, but okay, with long-term player value. And the title is aimed to deliver an immersive tower defense battle set in the United States heart, akin to the triumph of State.io. So before we move forward with this interesting story, let's take a quick look at State.io. And this is the game that was developed by Azure Games and with soft launch in November 2020 in Android, and then in March 2021 on iOS. So late March was also a global launch for both platforms, on both platforms having the peak of downloads in May 2021. To this day, the game has an impressive 70 million downloads. That's pretty interesting. They also launched this game on in October 2022 on HTML5. Thank you, Mr. Jakub.
Almost looks like an election map, huh?
Yeah, maybe. And you said this is
this is pretty much like Mushroom Wars. Look it up. It's a really, really old game launched in like 2009, where there you have this mechanic of bases generating units that you send to other bases, and you pretty much try to capture nodes, and like the units nullify each other if they meet. I mean, enemy and yours.
Oh,
that's it. So
not
really anything new here.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I found this game on gajillion websites where you can actually play it as well, and the game is like still makes around 2 million downloads a month. And after February update this year, the revenue is actually going up. So we might, maybe we should look into this game and other games in one of our next sessions too. So plenty of things to cover in the upcoming weeks and months. Anyway, going back to Fight for America, today the game is labeled as a hybrid tower defense game that blends the elements of shoot 'em up and tower defense genres. So it looks like, again, the success lies in the concepts and the visuals, making it accessible to players of all backgrounds. It's just hyper casual as fuck, as you can imagine. If you play the game, it's all about this red and other color characters. It's very simple. At its core, the game revolves around defending the US from invaders and providing players with a clear objective and purpose as they progress through different states, obviously to achieve the victory. So, honestly,
While watching a lot of interstitial ads in the meantime.
yeah, a lot of ads. But we will, they say it's the split between the IIPs and the ads. It's 40% IIP, 60% ads. So yeah, we can talk about that. But to succeed in the game, you must strategically fend off the enemies, and the title offers many choices: upgrading characters, placing towers, blah blah blah.
Not really many choices.
Yeah. That's what they say. As you say.
I mean, technically you have a choice, but but not really.
Doesn't do anything. And also, according to the case study, Homa implemented timers and rewards to enhance session length and engagement. Well, very good job, I guess. So initially, the game retention rate day one was 28%, which looks like very low, honestly.
Isn't that when Remo you say that you should just abandon the game if it's that low?
Well, that was the the
depends like how much
right?
how much time you invested in it already. Like if this is something you get after 6 months, then that's a different story. If you get it after 2 weeks,
but this is the thing. So this is the thing. Everybody before from the hypercasual was like, yeah, you need to make the game in 3 days or maybe even less, and then if you can't make the numbers better in 1 week, then just fuck off and then go to to a different game. But like this version had only like 2 or 3 states. The play time on day 0 was 1500 seconds, so you could basically complete the game in half an hour and never return back. But my friends over here could talk about the game design and monetization improvements later on, but I will continue with some facts about the Homa Games and what they did to make this game better. And they actually prolonged the process. So instead of a week or whatever was the very short period of time to actually make the game better, they dedicated 6 weeks for new builds and completely reworked the game, boosted the day one retention from 28 to 40%. Okay, not bad. And then increased the playtime from 1.5k seconds to 4,000 seconds. So it was like 1 hour gameplay. But yeah, no shit, Sherlock. If you have more time to work on the game, you make it better. Jesus fucking Christ. that's how it works. Then what they also did was restructured monetization. By the way, I was talking about this game in the previous episode. This ad. This was the ad. Like you're firing the gun to get better guns. This is great. Okay. Anyway, so they restructured monetization and IIPs. So the monetization approach underwent a huge revamp. So rewarded videos were replaced with IIPs, and they were focusing on weapons and character upgrades. They applied some dynamic rules for rewarded videos. So varying amounts were introduced, amounts of coins were introduced, and there was a cooldown mechanism to improve the ad LTV by 20%. Okay, not bad. And then they extensively A/B tested economy, I guess, to fine-tune the in-game stuff, and then that was related to coins, inflation, upgrade prices, and stuff like that. But then another improvements, they opened up networks. Yay! Wow. Okay, that's groundbreaking.
Pretty basics.
Yeah, groundbreaking. Scaling the game outside of Facebook. Great. So that's how you do things in the UA. Thank you very much. But they also, what they did was They proposed fewer rewarded videos and optimized monetization and economy. The value of rewarded videos to advertisers increased, resulting in significant rise in eCPM. Okay, so let's stop here and discuss a little bit. So what?
Yeah, so my guess is that there was no cooldown on rewarded ads, and because gold is so scarce in
Yeah.
or was or whatever was the build they had before, people just watch the rewarded video nonstop because
Okay.
you can, why not? And if that was the best way to get gold, then probably they kind of watched it too much and eCPM tanked.
Okay.
So your theory is basically they were watching like 1920 rewarded ads per session, and then because it's the same user watching their ad over and over again, they eCPM tanked essentially because it's the same person watching that many ads in a row.
Yeah, which you don't want.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then I think you're getting at the end of their hacks on how to make hybrid casual out of hyper casual game, and they say it's content enhancement. So Homa's creative team devoted some considerable effort to enhance the game. So they completed the US map, do different abilities to current states, optimize performance.
Chinese weather balloons.
There you
Genius.
go. Genius.
I'm talking about that on my part. I think it's amazing.
That's perfect.
Like I saw it, I'm like, I'm gonna play this game a bit longer.
Yeah,
It's so funny. It looked exactly like it as well.
that's great. This is what you do. Yeah, they implement like few different things, the integrated new monetization features, and expanded the game's content beyond just a few initial states, including Europe and whatever else. Okay, no shit, Sherlock. Like more content, better keep KPIs. Thank you very much for listening. We can end here. Okay, there was an interesting tidbit for this Fight for America case study, which was like what I mentioned: 40% of LTV on iOS is IIP generated. When they looked at the whole iOS plus Google Play, it was only 28% on the IIP side, and there was 3 to 5% conversion to purchase, which is not bad actually. But you can play around with this to get better conversion with different price points. But okay, so revenues and downloads. How does this game look like in terms of revenues and downloads? So the downloads are 10 million so far. Okay,
Depending on the tool you look
depending on the tool you look at. And then they say it's like 1.6 million revenue. Again, depends on the tool you are looking at. Most probably this is like 2 or 3 times more. And honestly, they make 200K per month on IIP. So even though it's most probably underestimated when we were looking at the previous games, what it could be just 400K per, let's say it's twice as much. So it can be 400K per month on the IIP side. So then you have either 600 or 700K on top of it. Depends on what you are looking at. So what they are earning 1 million per month. Okay. So you might also ask, how is this game doing compared to the previous games we discussed and what we mentioned? So again, Dreamdale and Mob Control. So if you look at these two games again and
Can you show
compare
the graph actually?
I will show it in the in the post production, of course. And this makes definitely yes. So if we look at this, the July, for example, Fight for America 200K, give or take. Then Dreamdale 1.3 million. This is only IIP, and then Mob Control 1.6 million. And like these two games, which is Mob Control and Dreamdale, started scaling quite heavily in the last 2 months, or not started, but definitely they're growing like hell. So when you're looking at the whole like overall picture, Mob Control 90 million downloads, honestly 90 million downloads, 13 million revenues, which is most probably at least double or triple from what we discussed. Dreamdale 18 million downloads and 8 million revenue, again maybe 14 or 20. And then we have Fight for America, 10 million, 10 million downloads and 1.6 million, which might be like 3 or 4. So it looks like that, like the both Mob Control and Dream Girl started doing quite well after our hybrid casual stories. So you're welcome, guys. Maybe Fight for America will start scaling now again as well. We can check that out later during the year. So anyway, let's start with the actual review. Felix, go.
Wait.
Yeah, you can
So
go.
wait, before I do my Edmond part, I just wanted to read this excerpt from an article from TechCrunch that I found on Homa Games from October 2022. This is right after they raised their 100 million monster round. Basically, it says like Homa's software development kit SDK helps you track various metrics thanks to built-in analytic features. It can be important if you want to improve session times and retention after 1 day, 7 days, or 28 days. Homa also fosters A/B testing at scale to optimize user engagement. So that's just like they have their SDK. They're selling themselves as a platform, not kind of a game studio, I guess. But I'm just a bit curious. Like that sounds a bit like an MMP SDK. And I also saw in my due dil that Singular was an investor in their Series B. So I'm just curious. Like, have they rebuilt like an MMP SDK here? Like, just a bit. What's going on?
Well, you have analytic features, and then what A/B testing. But you can't A/B test. I mean, you can A/B test with Firebase basically.
Yeah.
But I guess this is what they use to drive scale or growth for all of their games. I would assume actually what like Voodoo has the same thing. Well, they have a platform.
Yeah.
Honestly, they have like a testing platform where you can upload your videos and then you will actually get the results. So I guess this is very similar. But yeah, it sounds like
I'd really love to see it, what it actually is like,
similar.
right? Because TechCrunch is so like surface, right? So you never actually get the depth of anything. But I'd love to see it. Anyway, let's start with Fight for America. So fun, interesting tower defense game with a twist that you move around your character, what Remo's doing right now to attack your enemies. Essentially, you're taking back the United States state by state by invading it with your character and then building towers to attack your enemy while they charge you. It's a new tower defense game, and I guess the twist, Remo, is that you can move the character. That's the new kind of mechanic. That's an adventure, right?
Okay.
Well, okay.
By Felix standards.
Yeah, but
all right. All right, my personal like favorite point is when you shoot down spy satellites that look exactly like the spy like balloons that like was caught over America. Just hilarious. I'm sure, Matej, you have some creatives where they have the spy satellites. Like there must be. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
So ad placements in Fight for America are plenty and bountiful. Interstitials after completing a successful state invasion, and also on day 2 of having the game when you start an invasion. I would say that probably impressions per DAU on interstitials is anywhere between 4 and 5 per sessions. I gotta say here as well, Unity interstitials in particular on Fight for America are atrocious. They're unskippable, and they also have a 5-second cooldown, which is frustrating, but I'm sure the eCPMs as a result are nice and juicy. Banners are on a 10-second timer, so I'm saying that impressions here are 85 to 90 impressions per DAU. Rewarded placements, I stopped counting at 12. There's just so many placements. But I got to give it like a really good hand to their dynamic gold coin like ad placement that you can see right there on Remo's screen that just went away for 150 gold coins. Whenever you're in a moment of pain or needing of gold, that dynamic placement shows up with the exact right amount of number of gold coins. Nice. So really good one, and it's perfectly implemented. I'd say that rewarded video here per session is anywhere between 3.5 and 4.5. So in the last 30 days, based off a DAU of 420,000 users, I think this title made around $33,000 a day from ads. So on the Homa website, like you said, they have a case study that touts the hybrid casual success, and that the title reached 40% in IAP revenue. Looking at our second favorite data tool, I just don't see it. IAP revenue since launch was 1.7 million. In the last 30 days, it made 170K in IAPs, and I reckon about $1 million in ad revenue. meaning that 87% of revenue is from ads in the last month. So that's not hybrid casual numbers. That's hyper casual, at least in my book. Maybe the 40% of IAP was true, like during the period of launch.
Yeah,
Like we
man.
all
No,
know how important it is.
it was a little bit higher than that, but it wasn't like I see 230K per month on
Yeah.
IIPs in different tool. But again, it's not. Yeah.
So like it's either of two things, right? So it's either Homa Games playing fast and loose with their marketing, or it's our data tools that are shit. So
Yeah, I think it's something in between.
yeah, something in between.
It's
But I
always.
remember like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It is definitely like more close to the hyper casual side. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
said
yeah.
with Merch
Yeah,
Army,
yeah.
like Merch Army is like a completely different beast, and it's just by the number of vectors that are in
Ooh.
both games.
Very
That's not
nice.
many of them, really. And just
Vectors.
count the number of currencies you see in each game. How many there are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Usually they're just gold and gems or like
yeah.
hard
That's it, and
currency.
that's it.
That's it.
yeah. But I also remember, like, when people have reached out to us after we do these reviews, we're never off by more than 50%, like from the numbers, right? So
That's terrible.
40% IP, so IP would have to, like, IP numbers would have to
No,
increase by 2.5x, which to me seems a
no.
bit like too much, I guess.
Honestly, no. Honestly, when you look at the case study, they say 28% combined Android and iOS. It's on
Oh,
iOS is only 40%. So I think like here, if we take into consideration that the tools we use are
yeah,
wrong, and even if we double the revenue, we see it can be very close to those 40%,
yeah,
anything between 30 to 40%. So we need to count with the fact that these tools are underestimating.
yeah. I mean, I think it's a fun title and a clever design, but I just think it's hyper casual, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I doesn't think that it's.
But
I don't think it's a
it's
hybrid.
hyper casual with
Yeah,
a little bit more IIPs than the hyper casual.
yeah. Anyway, that's my what I have to say on Fight for America. Should we cover Attack Hole later on, or did you want to talk about Attack Hole as well?
I can finish the game design part on
Okay.
Fight.
Okay.
Yeah. So first things first, remember where do we see this mechanic of walk to something and building gets built?
Well, the game we covered, Golden Goblins.
Dreamdale.
Oh, but where it came from, honestly.
You think they took it from Dreamdale?
No. What I meant is that
I know
by
the pumpkins. You just took pumpkins and just move it to somewhere else. Or what was the?
it's like a UX UI design here, which preserves one button control, which I see a lot of hyper casual or hybrid casual games doing, which is great because no clicking of like selecting a tower placement, whatever, nothing. You just walk to a spot on the map and then stuff happens automatically and there's no new buttons introduced for the player. And this works great in Dreamdale, this works great here. And I think I saw some other games which I think is like a good trend here, which that's great. Like hands up to them. The design and like this whole kind of core gameplay is pretty good. I don't see any problem with it. It's a nice little, let's say, twist, as Felix said, that you can control a character, not just towers. To be honest, like the character's pretty shitty, and in the end, it's like all depending on the towers. Anyway, the other thing that the game has is that it doesn't really have that much vectors, and that's like, to be honest, the main problem. Like we can talk as much as we want around the split of IAP
Yeah.
and ad revenue, but I don't really need to see any data, to be honest, to see that there's not much to it, because I just cannot spend even the soft currency or the
Yeah.
hard currency I have.
Yeah,
Because the only thing that I saw, and correct me or whoever is watching this, write us in the comments, for hard currency, I can just kind of skip the weapon tiers that I have there, which is again completely linear, which means that the thing I was upgrading before gets completely thrown out and I'm just going to the next thing, which is just the soft currency sync. Therefore, it doesn't really make sense for me to kind of switch weapons or like, do stuff for different situations. Like maybe I can switch to shotgun because it has spread, but honestly, like usually the next best thing is like the thing that's in line later.
Hmm.
The other thing is that you don't have any other like vectors of progression. Like just just let's imagine when we were covering mob control. Mob control also started kind of quite similarly, and what they added was the usual gacha power layer. So you have you pick different attributes out of the game and you put them behind gacha progression. So here, what could happen would be, just imagine I would not be having my guy's weapons, and of course he has also health, speed, and recovery under like one button. That's it. But I could be also, let's say, upgrading the weapon, the turrets
the
from
towers.
time to time.
Yeah.
I could be upgrading whatever, some kind of different attributes that these things have. I could be upgrading my main HQ more. Like I can still kind of upgrade it, but I think there's just kind of like a healing and health of it or something. But it seems still pretty basic. Like there's much more stuff that you could be throwing at this thing to create some kind of upgrade vector, therefore a new currency sink, and therefore like a new thing to spend money on. So yeah, I don't see a problem. Why shouldn't I have, like, let's say, what, even maybe a pet or whatever, some kind of a different source of damage that can be like introduced here, or an aura, for instance, that could like affect enemies.
Like your states could generate some idle
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
there could be an idle loop, very easy to implement an idle loop. So there's a lot of, I would say, these missed opportunities, especially if we're talking hybrid casual, that they could have implemented really fast. The question is again, what do they like, how do they look at the whole iteration development cycle? Because all of the dates that were even in the article, and then we see that are kind of super small, so could be just kind of a production pipeline mantra where we don't really want to invest that much time because it's not worth it. Let's just rather do 10 games instead of one.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think. That's what they said, that they took the learnings from the Z defense and they implemented it here. So I guess they took the lessons from this game and then move it to Merge Army. Maybe that's the different.
Yeah, like
that's a different
could be
approach.
like the thing is that I don't see that big of a template overlap. If we like to talk about it here, where
frameworks.
Frameworks like, let's say, Hobby Head or like other of these studios are pretty much. I recommend them to create it. They will save so much development time.
Of course.
Like I just see the show button and the like character button in the same space, so I guess they have some kind of template, but it's still
it's like like if you're developing like multiple hundreds of hyper casual games and you have a hyper casual template.
Yeah, like you should definitely have something there in like on the hybrid side. So that's there. Yeah, the map originally ended with US. Only later down the line they added America because the game would pretty much end if you like liberated all the US states. I just checked it out on YouTube.
Yeah, you also said that they added Europe as well. So
yeah. So there's
at all.
Yeah. So
far.
Yeah, as I said, for my sakes, the gameplay is very simplistic if we're talking a hybrid casual game. If it's a hyper casual game, it's completely great. Like pretty much goes over the top, or let's say more than enough regarding IPs, but it's hyper casual.
But if you look at the downloads, this is the thing. So if you have the hyper casual game, you are aiming for fucking 70 million, like the state.io, these types of numbers. Here, it's 10 million. So if you're looking at it from the standards of hyper casual, it's a fail.
Title. Oh, you think so?
No, it's like
I don't think so. It's a fail. It's just not
if you're looking at the hyper casual standards of like millions of downloads.
I mean, like standards of Voodoo or
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Because you're like, oh well, this is a better hyper casual game. Yeah, maybe from the game design, but from UA perspective, no. I mean, if this is a hyper casual game, then you want to see fucking like 50 million downloads.
Yeah.
Not 10 millions. State.io is making 2 million a month, and it's like way far from the global launch. Yeah. Downloads.
Yeah. Like as I said, like a lot can be done here in order to like broaden up the thing, or even like the gameplay. It's best like add, like I can just imagine, because we're still on the spectrum of like the revenue share of ad revenue and IP revenue usually tell us how big the game even is, because if we compare something to Survivor.io, which doesn't have any interstitials at all, just few rewarded ads, but probably makes shit ton of IP and both ad revenue. And it's a completely different beast.
Talked about it,
so it's 50-50. And the closer we get to that, the higher the iteration time, the production time, and everything gets. That's like a main thing there. But yeah, overall, like as I said, this is not really a hybrid casual game. It's pretty good hyper casual game. But yeah, if I would need to rate it in hybrid stuff, like 5 out of 10.
Ooh. Okay, let's start with UA finally, and then we can continue back to Attack Hall. So I would say the most interesting part now. It's coming, but well, after looking at Fight for America or Attack Hall, I'm not so sure anymore. But let's divide things into iOS and Android activities. So on iOS, they have 4 channels, which is Uploading, Unity, Google, and Iron Source. And Uploading being the far biggest channel. But I'm very surprised because I don't see it on the downloads or revenues. So do you remember that what we discussed with Dreamdale and their exponential growth? So where they started Uploading, it just fucking exploded. Here it looks like they're spending like $5 per day, honestly.
Do you think they're mediating with Iron Source then?
Oh, I don't know. Could
Because I saw a lot more Unity ads than I did App11 ads, but that could just be a fluke.
Yeah, I haven't checked the SDK SDKs from.
It doesn't matter. It's the most unreliable part of any data tool anyway. So
I know. But okay. Anyway, on Android they have 3 channels: Unity, Apple, and Google. So I was thinking, like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, guys, like, where's the scale? Like, where's the other channels? So I was like, is it the UA team writing case studies instead of running the UA for your most promising hybrid casual game? I couldn't just believe this. So I looked into a different view of our favorite data tool, and voila, we have Mintegral, Uploading, Facebook, Digital Turbine, Tabjoy, and InMobi, alongside the Unity and Google as well. So thank you, data tools. You failed us again. Really appreciate it. So yeah, when looking at the whole picture, the Mintegral is the top spender here, which is impressive. So Mintegral is starting to pop up in our discussions, and then it's Uploading.
Super strong and hyper casual. They always were.
Yeah, but not like Monopoly Go, top 2 channel. Come on. But no TikTok. Well, what can I say? You're missing out so much, guys. I mean, especially for this type of game and audience. And, haven't you said something about the masculine-oriented, whatever, blah, blah, game and market? This fits well for TikTok. Come on. It's a great channel, especially for this type of games. So in terms of creative, I don't know, guys. So a few different concepts, but only on Facebook. On Uploading, they're running very weird playable end cards and no playables on Iron Source at all. Well, let's take a look. Actually, let's take a look. So I'm going to share this. We can start with the.
I'm hoping the hooks are good. I do like a good hook.
You like good hook? Okay.
Real life weapons.
By the way, I saw an ad when I was playing Fight for America, and the hook is a girl saying, "I finally found a game with no ads. How dare she? How dare she?"
I have this this is a hook I can show you, but I think let's start with these amazing playables, which is basically it. This is an interesting playable end card. So I was really confused. I was clicking everywhere, like, what the fuck is happening? But then they have this real playable where it actually loads like for 1 million years. But Playable Factory made it, and it's actually the game, right? So, but this is it.
It's not fake enough.
It doesn't need to be fake enough.
You can make fake stuff with hyper casual, really.
Yeah, it's actually that's not working. But that's it. You have balls, whatever. But you can actually build things. So it's actually this is kind of good. The previous end card was really confusing, and they have one more playable end card, which was also confusing.
So I want a tank. Where's my tank?
Yeah, well, maybe there is a little bit of a fake in this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say a little bit of fake.
And then we have again an interesting playable. So this is a playable. You need to tap to play, and then it loads again. I was like, all right, this I'm not sure if I'm not confused that much. And this is another one which was only on on Unity or Uplavin as well, and then I was tapping to upgrade, and then I started over. So also quite confusing.
I'm missing the epicness in those. Like I would imagine, like you sitting there with like MG or some kind of a machine gun,
Yeah.
mowing down hundreds of thousands of these like whatever
I know.
hyper casual people.
Yeah. I know. So you wanted a great hook. This is a great
Best
hook.
No Wi-Fi game.
There's a lie. I tried to play with no Wi-Fi. It didn't let me.
You pop a balloon with fire.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do you want to do? Exactly. It's fine.
See, this is the thing I'm talking
I
about.
love the soundtrack. Oh, this is a great creative.
He's barely scratching the crowd. He's doing nothing.
Yeah.
I like this creative.
Yeah, the sound. Yeah, the
The
music
sound
is
is perfect.
Yeah. It's also 60 seconds long, so this is already a second creative, and this is only, oh my god, they took Texas, and this is what they use on every fucking channel. This is the one that is taking all the spend, so they just merged two creatives basically. So honestly, yes, the previous was great. This is, I mean, I guess hyper casual-ish, and okay, ends with fail, of course, but no Wi-Fi game. So they have this is a good hook as well.
Imagine America lost the Second World War and is now part of the German Empire.
And
You're the only American left. You
and
must
you are
reconquer the states
here
with
again.
California as your military base. It's way harder than you think. Your strategy needs to be.
But
It's way harder than you think.
It's way harder.
AI voice.
AI voice, exactly. I'm missing subtitles, honestly. That makes a very big difference in creatives.
Oh my gosh! You enter Oregon without upgrading
But yeah,
your
that's
weapons.
definitely.
Oh my gosh, went to Oregon without upgrading your weapon.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's funny, but that's it basically. Then they're using.
You are the last
Yeah,
American
the
survivor.
AI voice is again the same.
Eliminate all German
But
soldiers.
here,
Oh,
these,
German
they
flags.
have these. Yeah, the flags. That's actually quite clever.
That's really clever.
That's actually quite. Yeah, I know this works quite well, or that definitely worked quite well when we used these type of things in the creatives.
Maybe you should consider upgrading your weapon and
Oh
armor
my gosh,
before-
Oregon is here as well.
Yeah.
It goes to fail, and then we are here again. What is this? Oh, the same creative you saw before, but the different order. So again, 60 seconds. Okay, fuck it. I'm not gonna watch this all over again. But then we have the same thing again. They're using this all the fucking time. The same things all over again. And here, what is this? Exactly the same again. But this is
Isn't that the
30
usual problem? That no enough creative variation?
There's like almost no creative depth. Honestly, it's just it's weird.
Don't choose me. I'm the new guy.
Wanna use me, dear?
You can rely
Yes.
on me. Imagine America lost the Second World War
There you go.
and is now part of
This
the
was
Oh,
yeah,
that has AI voice subtitles.
my voice,
You
and
must reconquer the
at least
states
you have
with
some
California as your military base. It's way
subtitles.
harder than you think. Your strategy needs to be
But
famous.
yeah, there was a hook again.
Unlock military stealth.
He
Are
wanted
you
to
gonna
see.
let them take California back from you too? If you don't resist until the end,
It's just-
everything will be lost forever.
So you
Oh my
saw what,
gosh.
like
You
4
went to
different
Oregon without
concepts?
upgrading your weapons.
Right.
Yeah.
Fight for America. Play
Like
now.
how can you
Imagine
even
America lost the Second
how can
World
you even
War
do
and
anything
is
with
now
like
part of the German Empire.
four concepts?
Don't
This
they
is
have more
all.
on that big of a amount of download?
I mean, it looks like they're not spending that much with these like 200k. Or let's say, honestly, like if you earn like $1 million a month, then you must probably spend at least like 200k per month, maybe even more. And with those type of numbers, I would expect way more different concepts. Because what you saw, like seriously, 4, and I'm very generous about 4 different concepts, and 2 very weird playable end cards on Upload and Unity, and 1 playable, and that's not definitely. So there's only like one interesting tidbit. I really like how they are actually buying traffic from themselves on Mintegral. They buy traffic from Ammo Fever, Attack Hole as well, and then also one other game which is Tower War. And I also found out that they're buying also traffic from two games I work with. So interesting. But yeah, basically Google and Iron Source are non-existent. There's no TikTok and very few creative concepts, like you mentioned. So if you don't know where to get the inspiration, just check your competitors. They're fucking killing it in terms of creatives. So I would say like maybe even Matej rating would be like 4, which is very generous. Honestly, very very generous. But yeah, we can actually continue to attack hole and do the sandwich again if you want.
Mm.
So
Show the gameplay, Remia, because honestly, like, this is a great concept. Like, whoever came up with this,
yes,
like, yeah, it's just the first time you see it, it's just, okay, I'm gonna download this. Like, it's interesting.
now the concept is great and
Yeah.
it's really huge and it's really, I mean, the success is just amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
But on the
Do you want to
UH
start with?
analytics, oh, you
Yeah.
can
Do you want to
start.
start? Do you want to start, Remia? Do you want to start? We just do
Yeah, I
game
can
design
start.
part.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Don't have that much here, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for all those who don't follow this mechanics games, Legacy Tree or Family Tree.
Can you
this is
pretend to
pretty much-
sound excited at least? Like,
Yeah,
come
no,
on,
I'm
man, a
super
little
excited.
excitement. Come on, smile a little.
I'm not really. I would say I'm actually angry a little bit because from players'
course, me
perspective,
too.
I was super pissed because I love these games and these mechanics. Like I really loved Whole IO when it came out. Whole IO was this like they took the mechanic from the game called Donut County on Steam before it even released from the trailer, which was genius, and they tested it on every kind
Perfect.
of their templates, and then pretty much came up with the PvP concept where your whole eat stuff during the day or whatever, like the map day was, and there were
Yeah.
other players, and you eat other players, so snake IO all over, and it was great. I really liked that game. I think it was super engaging. I think it was like it's still like one of the biggest voodoo games ever.
Yeah,
if
of
I
course.
understand
Yeah.
correctly.
No,
So
it is.
like, giant, colossal scale game. Yeah, so they took the mechanic very, very similarly, and they have it, or as I say, like I for me, like when I on the surface just look up the game, it seems to me like it's based on those like size comparison videos when you have these videos where it starts small and then gets big, whatever the topic, like ships, boats, buildings, whatever, something, and
Well,
it's
that
pretty
reminds
viral.
me the worms video.
Which one?
Two worms against each other. One was aiming at the other one with like saber. The other one just
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
picking up more and more tougher weapons.
Exactly. Yeah, and then
Yeah, same. Yeah, so that's great. Actually, if you look into it, they have the mode in the game, the tournament one, the PvP mode. It's in the game. I
Yeah.
really wanted to play it, but there's this one big catch. It's not PvP and synced at all. It's with bots. And what it does that if you actually keep
share a look.
or it doesn't even matter if you keep winning or whatever is the game doing, it actually has this kind of timeout phase where it gets you a reward after some time, and then the time runs out. Doesn't matter what happens, the time is just pretty much run out. And for an ad, you can add 30 more seconds. Like literally, you're winning. You're about to eat your opponent alive, and then it says "end of match." Watch an ad to continue.
I
was
think
so
that's
pissed.
genius.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I was so pissed for player
Talking about it's
perspective.
perfect.
Beautiful. I'm crying. It's so good.
Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, from game design perspective is great. Like of course, I guess the conversion here is like really good. Even this is complete illusion in my opinion. And the thing is that the mechanic and everything is super smooth. The gameplay plays well. You have pretty nice physics or whatever they have there. These games are usually one kind of pretty skill based, where you need to be able to consume small stuff first until you increase your size, and then you take the higher stuff. You don't really want to kind of bother with eating higher stuff before you are big enough, otherwise you lose time, and people eat other stuff like I did here in before, which means you lose. So this is super engaging, to be honest.
Oh, yeah,
Like
it
the
is
whole
great.
gameplay, it's great. So hands down, they took it really good. I think the twist they come up with regarding the whole kind of eating ammo or whatever things, and then just having the boss being killed with that's really good. We'll show it in a second. Like the PvP stuff is usually all about who finds the like most small objects first and then grows too big until they can be stopped. But then, I would say there's not. See, this is the halftime I'm talking about. There's not much that innovation there regarding the gameplay. I mean, by itself, like from game design standpoint, other than the boss mechanic. Oh, see, here we found the playground. So now we grow super big, and we actually do the thing that we talk about. And now that we are pretty much king of the hill and everything's great, notice the timer on the top. It says 765 seconds. And here we have our unlucky guy, which I was able to eat. And there we go, 30 seconds. Really? That's it. So this is pretty good outplacement. Never seen anything like it before. But
Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, so to the normal gameplay, it's super stingy. There's the pattern with both games where you pretty much sink your soft currency into, let's say, upgrades of the level, and then when new level comes in, all of it is resetted. And this is, to be honest, one of my biggest kind of issues, or I guess their hybrid casual challenge. They don't have really strong permanent progressions. I can't really invest into my whole or whatever, even the character progress here. There's just some skins, and you have these hacker skins which says like more power. And does it mean that if I have the Thanos skin, I have 1 second more time, or like it all counts up, or it's cumulative or not? I don't know. The skins, I think the characters, the new ones, they doesn't do anything, or I don't know if they even do something, but you can't. And it's always end up in this thing that you need to upgrade these like forever. If I would start the game, I would lose immediately because it's just programmed by difficulty by that. So the game pretty much forces you to watch these. Like there's no other way to go around this. Like from ad conversion perspective, that's
You're
great.
saying this like you've never played a hyper-casual game
Yeah,
before.
exactly.
This is what it's all about. Like, what?
I'm
It's a
saying
great
it from
placement.
hybrid casual perspective.
Yeah,
that
from
I'm
hybrid.
missing
But this is not trying to be hybrid. Like, this is a hyper-casual.
But could it be? That's the discussion. Could it be?
It could be. It's just matter of like how you set the rules with the progressions, like what's permanent or not. Like I don't think so. It should be a problem, to be honest. It's more of like a design angle, and their design priority wasn't that. Like their design priority was somebody that was focused on ad conversion or whatever was there. So if somebody said like, okay, let's sacrifice some of the ad conversion and let's rather have more, retention and more
IAPs.
IAPs. No, fuck that.
Train station. Hello, guys. Saying hi to Pixel Federation. Curious.
So as I said, the gameplay is kind of super stingy. The biggest thing you get actually by gold is by the end when you actually lose, which will happen immediately after we finish watching this ad, where you have that streak, whatever bonus thing. At least it can be kind of pretty generous when you actually put it time it at the right moment. Every fight pretty much ends up here when you are against the boss and you unload your arsenal that you consume through your whole consumption level before. I didn't do shit to the boss. Thank you. Skins that you get, you need to reclaim through an ad, otherwise no thanks. This is the main reward thing. So if you see on the bottom the multiplier thing, actually you can pretty easily hit the biggest multiplier, but to be honest, this is the biggest source of gold. There's no other than that. And if you don't really use this, it means that you again need to watch shit ton of ads.
What the fuck is this? Like this is an ad simulator. Well, I'm sorry, I did hyper casual game. I forgot.
It's very, very hyper casualish. But as I said, I could imagine that there could be different attributes because even the holes have attributes because you have those three things that
there's definitely
you could put
potential
behind a gacha. Like that's not a problem. Like there's just different perspectives on different, design
vectors
approaches
and systems.
Systems and vectors that you could do, and they're like for me even like the best thing would be the zoom of the screen. Like with whole games is the zoom of the screen, because if you zoom it higher it means you see further what stuff you can consume in the distance, which is better, like just that. So but I guess it's super engaging. Like they know what they're doing, otherwise we wouldn't be talking about that game having so much downloads.
Man, like this game.
So it's just that it's hyper casualish. It's not really hybrid. Like,
no, this is hyper casual-ish. Not ish. This is hyper casual.
It's hyper casual.
This is hyper casual.
But the main point here is just it could be pretty good hybrid casual if you
like
things
to be
about it.
honest, both Fight for America and both Attack Ohio, when I started playing the game, I was fully expecting them to turn into hybrid. But the thing is that the both of the game's main menus, if you see here, didn't continue adding new features on the sides as we would be used to from different games. So let's say trials, whatever, this vector, that vector, this progression, that progression.
This
Nothing's
gacha, that
coming.
gacha.
It's the same gameplay all the time, and that I think is like the main problem why we're seeing those retention numbers compared to these other games and why they're so low in the like long-term retention.
Exactly.
Yeah, but other than that, like it's super engaging. Like if people are willing to do that, like they bash their heads. I think even in the video they have on their like Homa Academy YouTube channel, they said that the win rate doesn't really have any effect or churn on retention. Yeah, so they just, I guess, roll with it. That's it. So problems there.
Made quite a lot of money on this game. So
yeah. So it has to work, of course, but it's not hybrid casual. Like it's a different strategy. It's still hyper casual.
I mean, so Attack Hole, like I said, makes no secret what genre it belongs to. It's hyper casual. Design super clever. I don't think like I've seen anything like this. Like the first time I even saw an ad from this a couple of weeks ago, I downloaded it because it was just like, oh, well, that looks satisfying.
Yeah.
Almost like ASMR, but for the eyes. Yeah, exactly. Like Remo says, there's a lot of ad placements. You essentially have to feed your hole with ammunition from like a short like period of time, and then you attack a boss. Super simple. There's a lot of interstitial placements, like a lot. I'd say probably 6.0 per DAU. There's rewarded video placements to make your hole bigger, get more time, more power, more gold, magnetic suction, Wheel of Fortune, and a bit more. Probably I'd say here 4.0 per DAO, because I think you only really watch probably the most popular placement is the gold at the end of the games, and probably like the size enlargement of your hole when you start.
It
banners
really depends, like how much do you want to bash your head against the wall, like
exactly.
how much time you want to lose in order to kind of repeat the cycle until you have enough gold to beat the boss.
Yeah, banners are on a 10-second timer.
Nice.
All in all, like this, I counted on with a 1.1 million DAU. This game is clearing at least 3 million a month in ad revenue. So about 80 at the same time period, it made about 88K in IAPs. So 97% of revenue is ad revenue. So yeah.
Of course.
But as I said, like same thing with me. Hyper casual wise, 9 out of 10. Hybrid casual wise, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Pretty generous.
Anyway, like to sum up like all my ad parts, I get the feeling from looking at these numbers that like I've been looking at if the data from our tools are correct, like I don't think that Homa Games have cracked the hybrid casual genre yet. Even though they're trying to tell us they have, I don't think they have. But like one thing though, I would say like these two games prove that the hyper casual like genre is still alive and kicking. Like absolutely.
Yeah, that is definitely. I think you said also that they reskinned this game to make a hole and fill, which is basically the same thing, but for food, and then you fill up the fridge.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like they reskinned it as well, and like I think that's tailored more for a female audience instead, and I guess they tend to have a bit better retention. But like I played that game as well, and it feels a bit less pushy on the ads. I don't know why, but it's still kind of the same game.
Yeah, I think we have some information that they are seeing interesting results on this game as well. So definitely a good one. Anyway, Attack Hole UA briefly, same UA channel mix. Who would say that? But here they actually run TikTok. Woohoo! Good job, guys. But when you're looking at the creatives on TikTok, I don't see how this makes sense. Because they have UGC creatives for hyper casual game, guys. Like this doesn't make any sense. You put a face on your gameplay, immediately higher CPIs. So yeah, the creatives are all the same. It's really hard to come up with different ideas for this game, I guess. But hey, you can have always a different images built from bullets. Like why not trying that? Because mean, let's see. I can show the creatives, and also I mentioned this creative on the latest podcast, but I didn't download it. But now I did. So
Well, Remo won't show
get
let
the
you.
fuck
Remo
off
won't.
with
Remo won't
yeah.
let you show the creatives because he's
Yeah,
too
because
enthralled by the game.
he's just
watching
looking,
ads. He's watching ads.
Yeah. Could you just stop the ads simulator,
Go
please?
ahead.
And then
Go ahead. I'm stop watching ads so we can watch ads with you. Thank you.
exactly. We need to find.
Do you ever get a feeling that life is just one big ad?
It is, of course, it is. Okay, so we have this, which is basically again harder than you think. It's the same. It's the same voiceover. It's the same voiceover all over again. But here, finally, you have the Will Smith.
That's not Will Smith.
Of course, it is.
That's Will Smith from Wish.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's Will Smith from Wish, but it's Will Smith from Wish AI Will Smith, I guess.
That works. Properly.
It works, yeah, it works for hypercasual games. Fuck it, it's great. But yeah, that's it basically. And then we have this UGC, which is
Honestly, the game mechanic is so unique. Like, I think these creators must do quite well, right?
yeah. But you see, this is the same gameplay. The same gameplay. This is the second ad, and then we have this ad again, which is again the same, and the same ad all over again. And then we have this, which is oh no, it's just annoying.
Oh, he's just playing the game so badly.
But now it's great. Again, that's it.
So we call this creative failed gameplay. Fail gameplay.
I've never seen creative. I don't see creatives that often where you succeed.
Of course, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. No, it won't motivate the players. Because usually when they see, when they see the fail, like, oh, I can do better. It's like, okay,
That's exactly what I thought when I was looking at the last one.
Here you go. This is the TikTok.
This is great.
How is this great?
I'm sorry, I just really like the mechanic. I think it's fucking beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
The mechanic is very satisfying.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
so
very,
satisfying.
And also the sound when it collects the bullets. It's great.
And the vibrations,
Yeah, and that's basically it, guys. I mean, seriously.
Cool, let's sum it up because we've done the long one today, so maybe we should sum it up here.
Yeah, don't worry. So I'm pretty sure if we talked about this when they had their peak of downloads, this would be like 9 out of 10. I'm pretty sure. But now it's just like 3, 3.5. And I think I won't have a lot of friends.
Wait, like, are you grading this as from like a hybrid casual space or hyper casual?
From the UA point of view, from the UA point of view, man, from the UA. Like,
creative variants, or
and even the UA channel mix is just like feels weird. But yeah, I won't have a lot of friends at Homa Games after this, I guess.
But honestly, it's just that we're talking about the truth
how
here.
we see,
it's not hybrid casual, really. It's hyper casual. It's great hyper casual with all the things we said, but it's not hybrid.
No matter how much marketing material they say, like this hybrid.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
Merch Army can change that. We'll look at that if it
Let's do that.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, who takes us home today?
Subscribe or go to our Slack channel to see us there and ask us whatever you want.
Everyone is welcome.
And then see you all at Gamescom next week or this week when you're listening to this. Tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. So yeah, this is going live on Monday, and then see you tomorrow at the party. If not at the party, Maria did this afterwards. Ask for Felix. No, okay. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. See you next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Game-related people. Everyone loves babies.
Exactly.
Everyone loves Pedro Pascal, babies,
And babies.
and a good portion of people like Pascal.